Hello, everybody on YouTube and Facebook, anybody else who sees this video. This is Devon Carter from CarTek Consulting. CarTek is short for Carter Technologies. We are a cybersecurity consulting firm. Our goal is to secure your present to ensure your future. We specialize in anything information security or cybersecurity related. Um, my my business has been around for a few years, and uh, we're not going to get into that right now. So today's topic that I want to hit you with is all focused on Cyber Monday. I posted a video, I guess, the day or 2 days before Thanksgiving to try to give some Black Friday shopping tips. I had some good response. Some people really seem to like it. And so I figured I'd do the same thing for Cyber Monday. Because as you know, as someone who specializes in cybersecurity, Cyber Monday can be just as dangerous. So the tips actually what I'm calling this is 12 online safety tips for Cyber Monday and every other day. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Tip number one, shop at websites that you are familiar with. Okay, shop at websites that you are familiar with. This was a tip that was in the previous post I had, but I just want to reiterate it because there are going to be a lot of new and wonderful offers, and you're going to see them pop up all over the web. You're going to get emails and stuff about them. Focus on the websites that you're familiar with, your Amazons, your Best Buys, your whoever you use that is a major company. Why? Because attackers are known for standing up these fake websites that look like the sites that you normally shop at, just as a way to collect your credentials, collect your credit card information. And so that's just a bad idea. Make sure you stay on the sites that you are very familiar with. Tip number two, make sure you update your operating system, your web browser, and any third party applications. This is a general tip, but it's especially important around this time of year. Why? Because you'll see an onslaught of all types of new attacks, viruses, and I should say new attacks, but you'll see an uptick in attacks, viruses, and all types of things that will be looking to infiltrate your computer, looking to infiltrate your network, and do some bad things, potentially stealing your data. Um, I say update your operating system. Why? Because when you have operating system vulnerabilities, that is just basically big gaping holes that bad guys can go through to try to steal your data. Same thing with your web browser. As you're browsing on the internet, your web browser is the tool. It's your Internet Explorer, it's your Chrome, it's your Edge, it's your Firefox. Make sure that that's updated. It's got the latest security patches so that when you visit websites, you have a higher level of security. Your third-party applications, your Microsoft suite, any application, third-party application that you use, make sure that you have the latest patches and updates for it while you're out there browsing and potentially connecting to maybe unsafe places. Again, these are gaping holes through which people can attack you and try to steal your data. Tip number three, every time you visit a website, even when you go to my website, www.cartekconsulting.com, that's CARTEK consulting.com, you'll see it's going to pop up and it's going to have HTTPS and it's going to have a little lock next to it. What does that symbolize? That lets you know that that site is secure, that my site is secure. Okay, we're using a TLS security to ensure that it's encrypted so that if you input data on anywhere on my website, that is encrypted to try to give you a high level of security. That is very, very important when you're going on these shopping sites and you're inputting your credit card data, you're inputting your name and all that other type of information. That is tremendously important to ensure that it is encrypted and it is protected. If it does not have that lock and say HTTPS, do not put your personal data in that web browser. Why? Because it is probably going to be stolen. All right. And just on another tip, no company worth their salt asks for your social security number when you're trying to buy something. So make sure that if a question like that comes up when you're trying to buy something, unless you're applying for some type of credit, don't put your social security number in the website. It's just asking for trouble. Typical online shops are not needing that level of information. Okay, use places that use PayPal and things like that, secure transactions. The next tip, when you're making your online purchases for Cyber Monday, try to limit yourself to one credit card. Don't use a bunch of different credit card accounts. Why? Because it will put you in a situation where if you do have something bad happen, now you have to check multiple card accounts. You got to call multiple places. You got to deal with multiple issues, right? If you consolidate and just use one card for all your shopping throughout the holiday season, then you know if something happens, it's only impacting that one card. Now, the beautiful thing about using a credit card is, guess what? The credit card companies will give you some protections. Why are they giving you some protections? Because they want to ensure that you keep using them. Those protections are things like if you have a fraudulent charge, guess what? They will uh, they will reimburse you. They will erase those charges off your account as long as you report them immediately. Okay, so credit cards give you some level of protection. Debit cards can too, but they're a little trickier. Sometimes, if you don't report them in time, they won't reimburse you. They won't wipe away those charges. Okay, so please try to stick to one credit card. It'll be very helpful to you. Um, Number 5 for tips for Cyber Monday shopping. Review your statements after your purchases and make sure the amounts line up. This is something you should do all the time anyway, especially in places that require tips and anything like that. Make sure the amounts line up, that what you intended to spend is what you actually spent. I see somebody drop in and say, hello, Rabbi. Yeah, I ain't saying that name. Hello, thank you for watching. Um, anyway, make sure that you're reviewing your statements so you know that everything is accurate and that nobody's trying to take advantage of your purchase. Tip number 5 for Cyber Monday: only use well, I already said this. Only use reputable websites when you're shopping online. I already touched on that. We'll skip down to the next one. Number 7: avoid using public Wi-Fi when you are doing your online shopping. Okay, that is a big one. Okay, sometimes people go out in coffee shops, Starbucks, and all that stuff, and they do their online shopping. Avoid that. Avoid accessing those public Wi-Fi spots. Why? Because there can be attackers and bad people sitting in those spots trying to capture data, trying to steal your information. You can even have people trying to mask the actual wireless ID for that shop, so you'll connect to them instead of the real public Wi-Fi. Okay, you should try to avoid that when you can. Use your hotspot on your phone if you can. Okay, that leads me to my next point, which is next tip number 8. If you have to use a public Wi-Fi location, then make sure you try to use a VPN connection. What is a VPN? It's a virtual private network. Okay, what does it do? Great question. I'll answer. Basically, it will encrypt your connection to the internet to ensure that anybody who's locally maybe trying to capture data, that they are unable to see the data. It is being encrypted. It is protected. It's basically a piece of software. The beautiful thing I'm seeing a lot right now is Verizon, Sprint, and major cell phone carriers. They have VPN software now being provided on the phones as part of your service. Sometimes they may charge you a couple of dollars per month to use it, but it is worth it if you need it. There are other services out there. There are plenty out there. I use IPVanish for all of my stuff. So there's plenty of VPN services out there. If you're in public, try to always use a VPN service. They're not that expensive, and will give you another layer of protection while you're out on public Wi-Fi. Next one, watch out for email scams. Okay, email scams. This is really big this time of year. Why? People are getting bombarded with communications from family and relatives. You get the email cards, you get real cards, all kinds of stuff. Email, not just email, but mail. Make sure you're reading this stuff and know who's contacting you, who's communicating with you. Ensure that you're uh, not just clicking the links in the email, but get into another browser and go to the actual URL of the site. So if somebody sends you some and it says an Amazon link in there, it may not actually be an Amazon link. What a lot of attackers typically do is they have those links redirect to another website that they control. And when you put in your username and password, guess what? They just store your username and password. So now they can go to real Amazon with your login that also has all your credit card and payment information that you've used before. And guess what? Now they're making purchases and having it sent to them. So that is something to be very, very aware of. Be careful of the email scams. All right. Next tip. Some of the places you shop at, they'll force you, I don't want to say force you, but they'll encourage you to create an account if you're going to be a repeat customer. Make sure when you create an account that you're using strong passwords. If you're going to make purchases on multiple sites, you're not just going to like a huge site like Amazon. You're going to be going to I don't know, Macy's, whoever. If you're going to go to a bunch of different sites, make sure you use unique passwords. Make them snowflakes. Okay, snowflakes never match. Use different passwords for each site. Why? So that if someone happens to steal your password for one site, they don't now have access to every other site that you go to. Okay, gives you a little more protection. It's something that you should be doing on all your websites anyway. You should not be using the same password for every website. Why? Because it's like now if they get that one password that you use everywhere, now they have access to everything that you have access to. Next tip, avoid, sometimes you'll go to a vendor and they'll be like, hey, a credit card machine is down or something's down. And they'll say, would you mind going ahead and type in your credit card number on their computer? So they'll have like a little machine set up, their computer, and they'll try to have you type it in, or they'll try to type it in. Don't do that. Avoid that. Don't shop with them. Tell them you'll come back another time when they get their crap together. Why? Because you don't know if their device has been infected with any viruses, keylog recorders or anything like that, keystroke recorders or anything like that. So now they can see everything you typed in, including that credit card number. Okay, so that's very, very important. The last big tip I have for tonight is if you are a victim, please file a complaint. It's not anything to be embarrassed about. People become victims all the time because cybercrime is only growing. Okay, ensure that you file a complaint with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, or your state attorney general's office. Why? Because if they're a legitimate business, a good business, it'll force them to get their crap together. But if they're illegitimate business, then people can be contacted to make sure that they're not getting or not expanding, right? They'll go after them and try to shut them down and things like that. I'm going to provide a link that I have a white paper that provides a lot of these tips in more detail, some nice screenshots and all that. And I just think everything will be cool. See my little man in the background trying to come in. So that's it for me tonight. Thank you for all your support and continued viewing. And please make sure you go to www.cartekconsulting.com. That's CARTEK consulting.com. Also, check me out at CarTek Consult. That's at CARTEK Consult. That's on Facebook and Twitter. Please, if you like the video, please click the thumbs up for me. I would appreciate it. Please share the video because I think it's some useful information that people can use. This is all about security awareness to try to allow people to shop and do what they need to do more safely. So that's it for me. Thank you. Peace and blessings to everybody. Oh, and I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. Peace.